We are extremely honored to have an extraordinary individual with us today who is an accomplished civic leader, educator, poet, and wonderful father. May I ask you all to direct your attention to the video screens.
My grandfather migrated here from the South, like most African-American families in this country. My father would make a joke and say his family was trying to find New York, and they said Newark, and they got off the train thinking they was in New York City.
We are a city of many different languages, all kinds of food and incredible music and dance. Our diversity is our strength. We are still the arts and entertainment capital of the state. We believe that the world together is safer than the world separated. Look how beautiful we are. We want jobs, we want to take care of our families, we want to live in decent communities, we want to be a part of it, and we deserve it like anybody else does. Our city is strong and getting stronger. We have accomplished much, but have so much more to do. And we can only get this done by moving forward, not back. God bless you all.
I would ask Provost Gingrich and the Grand Marshal to please escort Mayor Ras Baraka to the lectern.
Ras J. Baraka, as mayor of the city of Newark, you have taken on the demanding challenges of shaping a positive future for New Jersey's largest city with determination, courage, and extraordinary commitment. You were born and raised in Newark and educated in the Newark public schools. You received a Bachelor of Arts degree in Political Science and History from Howard University and a Master's degree in Education Supervision from St. Peter's University. You have dedicated your life to public service, having served as a community organizer, educator, and elected official, including as principal of Central High School, as a member of the Newark Municipal Council for 12 years, and deputy mayor, and since 2014, as the city of Newark's 40th mayor. As mayor of Newark, you have made critical social issues the focus of your considerable efforts, prioritizing public safety, education, job training, economic development, health services, and the mentoring of at-risk youth. You have brought to your enormous task a genuine commitment to the values of diversity and equality of opportunity in a free society, and an extraordinarily articulate and passionate voice in support of all people. In recognition of your achievements, Montclair State University is proud to bestow upon you, Ras J. Baraka, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters honoris causa.
Thank you, President Cole. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the State of New Jersey and the Board of Trustees of Montclair State University, and upon the recommendation of the President and faculty, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights, duties, privileges, and immunities thereunto pertaining, of which this diploma is the written word. Congratulations.
I don't know if I feel as good as you, but I feel good. To the president of this fine university, Dr. Cole, to the chairman of the Board of Trustees, Chairman Hiltzik, and the Board of Trustees themselves, the administrative staff, faculty, parents, and all those that made this day possible today, I want to say thank you. And before I go on, I want to start by congratulating the class of 2017 of Montclair State University. You have made it to the beginning of a long and arduous journey that begins with the end of this day. I want you to contemplate all that it took to get here, the parents that gave their last bit of earnings on hopes and dreams of their children, the husband or wife watching the baby at home while you studied that encouraged you to find that thing you have always been looking for, the teachers that never gave up on you, the community that stayed in constant prayer, that kept you on the prayer list at the local church, the masjid or temple. Think of today as a collective effort of the sheer will of a larger community to see that the sun rose on this day. I must say that I am overwhelmingly humbled by this honor today. Your president and this governing body has not only blessed me today with allowing me a deepened opportunity to contemplate on my service and focus it even more, but with the burden of continuing to push forward, no matter how rough the terrain or impossible the odds, and with holding myself accountable to live up to today's incredible gift. I was born in this city. I was born here in Newark, New Jersey. Most of my understanding of the world and my direct and immediate impact on it has been viewed from the lens of this great American city. A port city, an amalgamation of people from many parts of the world, of many languages, of many foods and dances. A city that has lived through the pains of the growth of this country and its challenges. A place my family migrated to, like hundreds of thousands of many like them, from the deep South, running from terror, Jim Crow, and a not so neatly hidden history of dehumanizing subjugation, trying desperately to make a home in the promised land. I was raised by my parents that were artists and activists, that loved the world enough and the people in it to struggle with themselves and everyone else to see that every day we got one step closer to our humanity, to democracy, to peace, to justice. People that thought service was as essential to living as the blood coursing through our veins. They shaped the roads that I chose as well as the ones I struggled to avoid. So did Avon Avenue and 14th Street, or the pool hall on 10th Street. Many conversations before this one today. I would have never have imagined myself then, that wide-eyed boy full of fear and confusion, as the mayor of my own city, and especially not standing here today receiving this honorary degree with all of you. I thank God for this moment, for accompanying me down this stony road and oft times carrying me, allowing me to see the importance of being prepared, and granting me the wisdom to compete with myself and the courage to not just have ideas, but to try to manifest them. For getting me to face my fears, the fear of failure, to understand its inevitability and its blessings. And when I began to understand and expect it to show up, I was able to find out how to avoid it. That winning is not the opposite of losing. It's actually just a step in a long process to victory. Martin Luther King said, faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the stairwell. Your presence here today is a culmination of that deep faith, of many lost steps, of bruised knees, of hurt feelings and refusals to turn back. I need you to internalize that thought, to know that the road will be tough, but the victory in the end will be great. I want you to know this because we need you now more than we ever did before. We need students that leave here in the midst of a country throwing 23 million people off of health care while giving tax breaks to the wealthiest amongst us to know the deep immorality of that contradiction. We need students to refuse to benefit from poverty of others and create systems that reject those that party in the Rose Garden while our grandmothers have to decide to pay for food or medicine. We need you now, as the world grows smaller and more dangerous, not to fall in a mob mentality of scapegoating your neighbors because they pray in different languages or wear hijabs and not robes. We need you to understand the rightness of more democracy, not less, to face and correct the ugliness of hatred while knowing this country is only exceptional because it's a canvas of colored immigrants. We need you to know that we need to build bridges and not walls. We need you to have the courage to say that Black lives matter because all lives matter. And remember, Dred Scott and his wife trying to escape slavery, or young Trayvon Martin, that Black lives have been marginalized. And in order to make this country the beacon of light, in dark and stormy waters of the world, that we must embrace our errors and hold up the least of us. We need students that know that women are our equals and sometimes better. We need to celebrate them and make sure they get paid for the same work that men do. We need to allow them to dictate their futures and not be progenitors of their subjugation.
We need you to eradicate disease and not watch millions of children die from curable ones. We need you to build economies that blanket us all in cold weather. We need you to make the planet sustainable and not run from science. We need you to love harder and more deliberately, to know compassion is not a weakness, it's not a character flaw. We need you now to be brilliant, to be outstanding, to be impossible, to be extraordinary. We need you to take what you've gathered on this journey and all that you have learned and use it to transform this world, that you have everything that you have collected just to give it all away. I want to end by remembering Inauguration Day on January 2013, when President Obama was being sworn in for a second time. He gave the oath of office with his hand on Martin Luther King's traveling Bible. It was called his traveling Bible because he used it on the road many times, giving sermons and speeches before and after rallies and marches. It accompanied him in the face of death and hatred. It was there when he was arrested in Birmingham. When the jailer gave him a number and took his possessions, they also took his Bible into custody as well. It was evidence that God is real. I am almost perfectly sure, completely content with the fact that the jailer that day did not know that that Bible he confiscated would make its way through hatred, through fear, through Jim Crow, would make its way through the assassination of Martin Luther King in Memphis, and make its way to the steps of the most powerful nation in the world in the hands of the first African-American president the world has seen. That day, when they closed that cell on King, they took that Bible, that God had a larger plan, a greater imagination, that he was writing another chapter to make the last the first. I'm sure that when President Obama was a child in Hawaii or in law school, he would have never, ever imagined that his paths would cross with Martin Luther King Jr., that their destinies would be tied together, that his success somehow was inextricably attached to the path King paved. And as we all are, our journeys, our path, our success is not our own. We live it as a wave of history. Every moment we speak, we stand, we act, we serve, we continue and further this wave. Our lives mean something. This day is great on purpose. It means something. The reason that you're sitting there today, it means something. And more importantly, the power that you get, the question is, how will you use it? Thank you again to this great university. And thank you to the incredible graduates of the class of 2017. I want you to get up from these chairs and leave this place and let the world know you are here. There are millions and millions of people of all colors and all languages and of all religions. They are waiting for your arrival. Godspeed.